Hi guys, just observe this question and try to solve this. Okay, pause the video and try to solve. Now I think you have solved the question. Let's see what's my answer will be. So most people think that this is an illegal statement. Why? Because see here, there is an unsigned int x equal to -1. Since it is an unsigned int, how can we store this negative value in unsigned int? So many people think that it is an wrong statement, maybe error, maybe the answer. So this is the first what we call problem. Let's see this. What is this tells? See, remember one thing. Any number can be stored in any data type. Okay, but how you take the data type is the what it matters. So -1. -1 is nothing but any number. If any data type we store, we'll get the value as 11111111, depends on the data type range. Okay, if it is 32 bit, I mean if it is an integer, then 32 bit will be stored all ones. Okay, so this how we got this using a 2's complement. Okay, if you have any doubt using how to use 2's complement, you can view my previous lectures. Okay, link in the I button. And now the point is here, now consider here as an unsigned character. Okay, consider here unsigned character. Since is an integer is a 4 bytes long, so for convenient I'm using character. Okay, so since unsigned character, its value will be 2 power 8 minus 1, so 2 power 255 is the maximum value. So 0 to 255, so it says that I can store only positive values from 0 to 255. If you give any number beyond the range, then I will give an abnormal answer. Okay, if you store in this range, I'll give the correct answer. But yes, it is true if you use percentile u as a format specifier. So if you use this format specifier for this data type, then we can get the accurate answers if you store 0 to 55. If beyond the range or beyond this range, I mean if it is in negative numbers or beyond the 255, then we'll get the abnormal answer. So if I store -1 there, I'll get all ones here. For consider I'm storing in character. Okay, now if you see here, if I decrypt this value, so since percentile u is used for decrypting the data without seeing the MSB. Okay, here MSB plays a major role, because if it is a negative number, if it is 1, if it is a positive number, it is 0. But in this case we are using percentile u, which means it doesn't care about MSB. It will directly calculate all the values. Okay, 2 power 2 power 7 plus 2 power 6, like that up to here. So it will get that value, so we'll get a positive value. Okay, since we stored negative value but we got the positive value due to percentile u. Okay, if I store if I take the data using percentile d, then I'll get -1, because percentile d makes shows that this is 1, so my answer will be -1. Okay, okay, right. This since here MSB is 1, it is a negative number. If you find its 2's complement, you'll get -1. How you take the data depends. Okay, how you store it doesn't depend. Okay, what is the difference between unsigned and signed? Okay, in this also you can store negative values, in this also you can store negative values, but if you use a correct format specifier, then we'll get a wrong value. If you use this format specifier, then you get right value. Okay, so the crux of this topic is now is, no matter whatever the number, you can store in any data type, but how you take it depends. Okay, if I say that -1 can be stored in unsigned, yes, we can store in unsigned, but while retrieving the data, you have to use percentile d to give the correct answer. Okay, so my suggestion is use correct format specifier for, and use the numbers in between range. If you use the numbers in between range and correct format specifier, then you get the what we call expected value. Okay, okay, so now we have cleared that -1 can be stored in variable x. Okay, no matter what is the data type is. Okay, now what is the value inside the x is all ones. Okay, all ones are there are from 0 to 31 bits. So the next point is here is, why is this not of 0? Okay, so what it states, So there is a difference between not and negation. So what the difference is, see what this states that whenever there is an true value, it will convert into false value. For example, see if there is a not of true, then directly convert into false. If it is not of false, then convert into true. So the question is, what is true and what is false? That's simple, it's right. False is 0 and true is which are the numbers which are not 0. That's it. Okay, you can think like true is like 1 2 3 or minus 1 minus 2 minus 3, any number except 0. Okay, so this is the negation. So what is the difference between this and this? It operates in bitwise level. For example, x consists of all zeros. Okay, if 0 is represented like all zeros, right? Okay, so this will, what will do is flip all the bits like this. Okay, so whenever there is a zeros, ones will be replaced. Whenever there is one, zeros will be replaced. Okay, so this is the operation for this. So now you can think like in y we have all ones due to this operation. So all ones. Okay, now what here we are doing is x equal to y. Now x is an unsigned type, y is an signed type. Now the first question is, how can we compare signed and unsigned? So it is against law, right? So for example, see, you can compare rupee with rupee and you can compare dollar with dollar. You cannot compare rupee and dollar. Either you have to convert dollar into rupee or rupee into dollar, and then you can perform the comparison operation. So instead what will happen is highest priority goes to signed. Okay, so unsigned will be converted into signed. Data will not change, but what we'll do is this signed will converted as, sorry, this unsigned will converted as signed. So you can think like x equal to y. This is signed and this is also signed. Okay, since y from starting also is signed, x is signed due to internally for comparison, either you have to convert this into that or that into this. Okay, so by standards it is fixed that unsigned is converted into signed. Now here comes the trickiest part. You can now you know that in x also there are all ones, in y also there are all ones. Okay, since there are all ones in signed form, there are all ones in here also signed form, then both are equal, then answer will be same. Okay, so this is how we solve this type of questions. Don't confuse between signed and unsigned. Okay, now here now here I'll give a simple example. See, if I use here percentile d and percentile u. Okay, if I use here percentile d and percentile u, what I'll get the answer. See, just we can by seeing we can tell the answer. -1 can be stored in x variable x. Okay, it is valid. Since here it is an unsigned, I have to use percentile u. Okay, it is also valid, but it is beyond the range, so I have to calculate the value. Okay, you can say that abnormal answer also. Okay, if it is percentile d, then you know that -1 is stored in all ones and percentile d is nothing but we have to check the MSB value, and since here is 1 and all ones are there, you can get tightly give the answer as -1. So if you use percentile d, -1 is the answer. If you use percentile u, I can tell the answer. How? See, here MSB is not calculated, I mean not taken consideration, so all ones. So you can simply write like 2 power 7 plus 2 power 6, in this case 2 power 31 plus 2 power 32, like that up to 2 power 0, and add all the value, we'll get the answer. If in this case, let's see, here also all ones are there. If you use percentile d, we'll get the answer as -1. If you use percentile u, you'll get the answer which we got here. Okay, let's see, printing the value in percentile d and percentile u form. Okay, and we'll see what the answer will be. Percentile d gives the -1 and percentile u gives the a large value which we have discussed, like 2 power 31 plus 2 power 30 plus 2 power 20, like that up to 2 power 0. Okay, so it take, I mean it reads the data based on the format specifier. For example, if I write like, see, if I write like simply a signed value with -1, then percentage -1 and percentage same answer. So you can relate the question, right? See, no matter what you store in that, how you take the value is that matters. And the data type, why you use sign and unsigned, because you to increase the range. I'm saying that to increase the range, not the total range. Okay, to store the positive values we have some range, to store the negative values we have some range. Okay, you know, in if you want negative numbers, then you have to go for signed value. If you want to store only positive values, then you go for unsigned value and use a format specifier in order to avoid abnormal answer. Okay,